Gerry Robichaud from New Brunswick. Moncton, New Brunswick. Recently, for the past 30 years, of Waltham, Massachusetts, where they've been living and working and playing music. We have the Palmaters back here. If you don't know Marcia and Dave Palmater, Marcia has had the longest running Downeast radio program in the area, going on 23 years now, of all featuring Downeast Ceilidh music. And Dave has been a local folk music disc jockey in every station they've made. We also have Peggy Morrison with us. Peggy, stand up. Peggy is the president of the local Gaelic club in the Boston Canadian American Club. Her daughter is going to be step dancing for us today. And if you all are interested in anything to do with maritime music or travel, Peggy was kind enough to bring a bunch of brochures and folders about the Maritimes. There's a wonderful newspaper about Cape Breton Island. And hopefully from what we have to say today and what we have to play, when you leave here you'll have a fair idea of some of the differences between the different styles of maritime music. We were asked to cover instrumental and dance music, so we won't be dealing with any other large, like ensemble groups, folk singing, anything like that. If we could sing, we'd be dangerous, but we can't. So there. We're going to clear off to the side a little bit, because what this music is really all about, whether you're from Cape Breton or New Brunswick or Boston or Waltham or wherever, is dancing. And we don't have a good enough floor here and enough room for everybody to do it, but we can certainly have someone come up and do a little stepping for you. You're going to do a set. Peggy, why don't you come on up and introduce your daughter and tell us what you're going to do.
Howdy, howdy.
Peggy Morrison from the local Gaelic club with her advertisements.
Hi, everyone. I'll introduce my daughter, Christine Morrison. Christine would be third generation from Cape Breton. My mom was from Cape Breton, third generation. But her father, so that's second generation on her father's side. Her father's from Cape Breton. And I have 4 beautiful daughters, and I only got one that kind of took to the music, you know, and I was so happy that she started dancing when she was about 5 or 6 years old. And she's one of 4 girls. They have 2 teams. The others we couldn't get a hold of them today to be able to come over to show you. And they do the traditional Cape Breton style dancing. It's close to the floor, their feet is close to the floor with a lot of emphasis on it's a strathspey and a reel type of, so you'll notice that. It's various steps. My sister Mary McGilvery teaches the step dancing. Originally it was taught by a young lady by the name of Judy Tebow. She started the teaching some time ago. We do this over the Canadian American Club now every Friday night, if anybody is interested. And I have some flyers here if you wanted to take them along. We're trying to maintain this music. Joe Cormier is over quite often to help us out. Now that I've just heard Gerry's retired, I'll be making sure that I talk to him and come over and volunteer his time. It's all volunteer. Friday night, and we're going to try to have some lessons, some step dancing lessons, some pipe lessons, some fiddle music, some boran, I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, boran, and some guitar. We're going to have those lessons from 7:30 to 8:30, and then we're going to have like a jam session from 9 to 11. Anybody that has instruments want to come over and kind of jam with us. We're looking to do this to keep this Celtic music going and keeping it going here in the Boston area.
Tell them the address.
And the address is 202 Arlington Street in Watertown. So if anybody's interested, I have these up on the piano and you can take them along with you. So to not to delay this any longer, I'm just going to turn it all over to Christine and I hope you enjoy it.
You thought you were going to get off without saying anything, weren't you? But one thing I wanted Christine to talk about just a second is what you like to hear when you have someone play for you. What you look for in the music.
Well, I look for, I like the fast kind of music because, I know, I just like to be fast. But, some people like the slow, but I don't know, it's just like, in the music, it's, when you get into it, it's really nice, like, when you get going and the dancing really good, so I like that part of it.
While you catch your breath. We'll give you a minute to catch your breath. I want you to be able to show us the basic traveling steps. When you go, I know that most of you weren't here this morning. I know most of you weren't here this morning, but we did talk a little bit about the square sets, and you may have been surprised to find that if you do American, traditional square dancing, that if you go to a square dance in Cape Breton, or if you go to a Canadian square dance in Boston, and I suspect this is probably true in Detroit also, there may be 2, 3, 4 sets of squares during the evening, but each time you take the floor, you'll do the same figures. At an American dance, you'll do, dip and dive, when the work's all done this fall, ladies chain all or something, and the next time you get up, it'll be 3 different figures. But in Boston, we do the Boston quadrille. If you're in Inverness County, you do the Naboo set, is what it's usually called, which is 2 jigs and a reel. Here it's 2 reels and a jig. I mean, a jig and 2 reels, excuse me. The jig is always first. And in Newfoundland, it's 5 figures. In New Brunswick, it's 4 figures. But it's always, in each locality, it's the same set of figures. And you say, God, this is dull. No, it isn't, because the figures are comparatively unimportant. This is a social occasion. There's plenty of time to talk and flirt. You don't want to pay too much attention about the figures that you're executing, because what's important is your visiting and your step dancing. If you're doing interesting things with your feet, you don't need to be doing a lot of interesting patterns with the other people on the floor. And in Cape Breton, the basic traveling step is what's known as the hop. And I ruined my knee trying to do that. So would you show us what the basic traveling step is that you use? Going from point A to point B, doing a grand chain around the set, you use this step.
Alright, this is the stretch bay, this little part of the music. This is the basic step for it. It's like a step shuffle hop. And for the reel, the fast part of it, it's mostly this one.
I mean, there are 8 people going around the set doing that. You don't care.
Some of the variations you do, and what you're trying to do through the course of the tune is to do variations.
Yeah, well, the variations I do is, it's usually, I build up to more, like, advanced steps, and I do this that's like a lot of basic steps, but it's just shuffles. And then I add, like, turns and steps into it, like, for about 9 years, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Muscles.
But it doesn't really hurt because the muscles are like trained to do it now, so it's easy. And then I could probably get into a more difficult step. There's like a hop in it and a couple shuffles and turns, but it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
Oh, yeah.
one of the things that you'll find if you've never traveled to places like Cape Breton or gone to any of these dances is that unlike a lot of step dance that's done only for competition, people will jump right up out of the audience or right off the floor, and in many cases in the big halls they'll have the big stage up for the musicians to perform, and they'll have a small stage like this down front for anyone who wants to get up and step a set. And they're not all young and spry either. I've seen some people that you wouldn't think could stand up, get up and step all night. So
Beautiful steps.
beautiful steps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had people that come to the Gaelic Club in their 80s.
Yeah.
They have to get up and step dance.
Yeah.
And amazing steps.
And she doesn't have taps on her shoes, very soft sound, but it's a dance step for the quadrille dance.
Another thing is that when you come to the part of the figure where normally you swing the buzz step, which you do in the States and also in Canada. In Canada, they really are hellacious with the buzz step. It's when you watch your feet run out the door. But in areas where the step dancing is common, sometimes instead of, I'm not going to do it, but instead of taking your partner in waltz position or whatever buzz step position and swinging, you take hands like this and you step. And so you do that for the period of time during which the swinging is supposed to take place.
Do you
Also,
rotate
in
the
Inverness-
process or just stand there?
What?
Do you rotate around each other while you're doing that, or just...
No, you stand face to face and just have at it. And also, sometimes, in Inverness County only, I found this, they'll take the waltz position and just two-step around in place. Not buzz stepping, not step dancing, but two-stepping around. Right.
Instead of, sometimes we would swing like this. And then those of us that music starts to get into our head, then we'll start. Right.
Peggy, if she was going to dance, she's, no, I don't dance.
I heard Joe play it today. Also, now, one thing that's wonderful about the dancers who step dance is Cape Breton dancers, they very much dance to the music. They stay with the measures, and they will not start something new in the middle of a bar. But on the other hand, if they're really getting into the stepping, you may have different sets progressing through the figures at different paces. One time I took 2 square sets to demonstrate these dances at the New England Folk Festival. And one set was older people, and one set was younger people. And the older people, they all stepped. But the older people didn't go into it as much. And they were all through when the other set was still dancing, because they spent more time stepping. And everybody was doing right. It was just that they decided to devote some extra measures to the stepping, the swing part of the dance, and then they went on, but keeping it within, divided up into the visible by 4 measures.
Yep.
So that gives
But
a
we
little
can
bit of
give
the
her a
idea.
chance to rest, and maybe we can do another set for you before the time is up. I guess what Gerry plays is pretty much the New Brunswick, Downeast style. Joe plays the Inverness kind of Chetty Camp style. Now there's another style in Cape Breton which is even more Scottish, a little more straight Scottish, which is from the Sydney side, the eastern side of Cape Breton.
We disagree.
You do?
Got a lot of Irish influences in Sydney.
Well, the Irish, okay.
In Cape Breton, there are a lot of different regional
Well, I brought that up.
styles.
You can't
I'm jumping in because I know. There are a lot of different regional styles because the island, even though a very small island, if you're not familiar with Cape Breton, if you imagine the map of Nova Scotia as a pig's head. Cape Breton is kind of like the jewel in the pig's snout, And Cape Breton, there are a lot of very isolated little villages, and each one of these villages has its own unique style of Scotch music. Joe comes from Shettycast, which is
Cool from
If
County
somebody
to
comes from
Not so
Mabry,
much
you would
now,
know
maybe
they
then.
didn't come from Glendale from the way they play.
Not so much
And if
now,
they're
we have
from Utica,
television,
it's another style
radio.
entirely.
When I grew up, it was different counties, different styles. Different styles.
What about Newfoundland?
There's a different,
Oh.
different again, yeah?
Completely different.
Very different.
Newfoundland's very confusing.
Prince Edward
because-
Island, Newfoundland, all those places have specific styles, which we don't play.
I've been doing a lot of work up in Prince Edward Island, and they have 4 or 5 sub-regional styles on the island, one of which is similar to some of the Cape Breton styles and others.
It's a much smaller island, but they have several styles there.
That's right. Yeah, it's totally flat. Prince Edward Island.
Newfoundland's even more isolated, so
Much more isolated.
much more isolated, so you get very specific regional styles in Newfoundland that don't go any further than from one house to another.
And there in various areas, you have strong Irish background, you have strong French background in some places, and then there's one small area which is Scottish, the southwestern part.
If a person were to take a traveling 2-week vacation to the Maritimes, as an outsider coming in, a tourist or whatever, what opportunities would one have to listen to this music, and how would they find it?
Go to the
Saturday
Doryman.
afternoon in Shettycast.
Take this along. Has ads. This was last summer's, but most of the places are still there.
There's nowhere to go, yeah.
Every night of the week.
Every night of the week in the summer, there's music. Glencoe Mills.
You mentioned the Fiddle Festival. Did you mention the Fiddle Festival?
Yeah, there are fiddle festivals all over. I mean, there's Antigonish, there's St.
There's the
Anne's,
Highland Games.
the Highland
St. Anne's
Games,
is the only real fiddle festival in Cape Breton.
Benyon,
Benyon,
Big Swat.
Roma Bay.
drove a bit to DI.
Thank you, Ken.
If anybody calls the Canadian Consulate, they have a wonderful program that they'll be sending out to you. So the Canadian Consulate is here in the Boston area. Just ask for the Department of Tourism and tell them that you want to travel through the maritime provinces. They'll send you some literature and they'll give you a highlight of all the concerts and all the wonderful music that starts from
They have a chronological
17th
events list.
until September 4th, that Labor Day weekend. Every weekend, glorious, glorious music. Every place you can go. It's wonderful.
Typically in Cape Breton, there is a dance in a different part of Cape Breton each night of the week, at least one. And on Sundays, since they can't have a dance, they have a big open-air Scottish concert. One or the other of the Catholic parishes, somewhere in Cape Breton, will have a huge concert, and they'll have 30 fiddle players show up, and they'll take turns dancing on the stage. Sometimes they'll have a dance after midnight. So on a Sunday.
Because there's not much work. So all you do in the summertime, you have fun. Now the fishery is closed. We don't fish anymore. We just play.
And we don't want to ignore New Brunswick. Gerry has a camp up there, down there, where he goes all the time in the summer. He said there's lots of dances there too. Got that? There's plenty of them every night.